So I'm doing a video on the 1950s through the 1970 era of what was it like to be born in a racial state. This interview is taking place at my house in Lakewood, California, and this project is due Thursday the 21st, and this is just talking about how was it like to be raised when you were being racially judged, and at the time we only had white presidents were elected. To get started. Okay. So my guest would be my grandma. She's been born since 1955.
Since 1951.
Since 1951, my mistake. And she knows a bit about how was it like to be racially judged. So this is Deborah Arthur. So Deborah, where were you born at?
I was born in Stockton, California in 1951.
Okay, Stockton. Where's that at?
That's up north near San Francisco and Oakland and Sacramento.
When did you come down to LA?
Well, I was born in Stockton and we came to LA when I was just a baby. But I was raised here in LA.
You was raised in LA and born in Stockton.
Mm-hmm. What
school did you attend when you lived in LA?
I attend 92nd Street School. That's in Watts, California. And from there I graduated to Markham Junior High. And I left Markham and went to Charles Drew and graduated.
Okay. You went to Charles Drew for high school?
For high school. For junior high school.
Oh, so you didn't attend any other high school but Charles Drew?
Well, that was a junior high school.
Oh.
Okay, so my high school was Jordan High School. We called it the Bulldog.
The Bulldogs? That was you guys' mascot?
Yes. And then I left there and finished high school at Fremont High School in 1968.
Okay, well, during your high school experience, did anybody ever make racial comments towards you?
The first time I ever knew about the racial act was really going on was in 1965. Well, yes, 1965. I was in junior high school at the time. I was going to Charles Drew Junior High School. And I seen a little prejudice things going on at school, like the teachers were there weren't so many black teachers, number one, and their favoritism was to me with the lighter colored people, I say. But in 1965 was the Watts riot when I really began to know about racial acts and prejudice and things like that. I was in 1965 during the Watts riot. Well, I was learning to drive that day. My mother had me driving that day. And we drove down a street called Imperial Highway. And there they started throwing rocks at people that were white for some reason. So I wanted to know why. And the reason is similar to today. The police officers, a police officer had did something to a black person, and they had been doing things, and so these people decided they would fight back. Blacks decided they were tired of being treated the way that they were treated, so they started a riot. They were throwing rocks at the people's cars and things.
Okay. That's good. So when you learned about that, did you ever feed into it about the police? Did you ever believe the police was racially intentioned towards black people?
Well, not all police officers, no. But there were some on the police force like they are now. But no, not all of them were racial. And the way that the way that black people handled that, they did it the way that they felt was the right way to do it. And then they started burning. We had a radio station called KGFJ at the time. And this radio station gave it a slang word saying, burn, baby, burn. And they began to burn up all our stores. And then this is the first time I ever seen looting. Looting is when you go in there and you take all the merchandises out of the stores, and that's what the black people were doing to the white people's stores.
During your high school experience, did you go to school with white people?
Basically not. In the neighborhoods I lived in, there were not white people. Very, very few. I don't remember any where we lived because we lived in where you say it was Watts, and it was basically blacks.
So you never saw white people?
I saw white people, but not to live by them. If they lived it out there, they had to be a very low class. They were considered very low class people. Hippies, and they were out there, and they used to have a lot of fun. We used to have fun with them.
Oh, so you talked to hippies, you played with hippies. What was that experience like?
It was fun.
Did anybody ever judge you by having fun with a hippie?
No.
Did you ever see hippies get into it with black people?
No,
or the
hippies.
Police?
No, hippies were people that were white, and they were friendly people. They were like people that liked a lot of joy and happiness. They did whatever it is they wanted to do. It seemed unusual. They painted their cars with flowers all over it, and they had the Beatles music going on, and they were a little different. They were just bringing out good things, but they weren't prejudiced people that I know of at all.
Did you listen to the Beatles during growing up?
Loved them.
Loved them. So, well, that includes our interview.
Oh.
Thank you for talking about what was it like to grow up, and any further comments you want to make?
I just want to make it known that it was a beautiful time in my life. Even though those things were going on, we had a beautiful time.
Well, thank you.
Problem.